Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event announces 2 new Kingdom Hearts games in development. Kingdom Hearts 4 has Sora making his triumphant return with an updated look. Spoiler, there's no more clown shoes.
God damn it.
It is the beginning of a new storyline titled The Lost Master Arc. Right, so a couple things about the trailer. This is actually from Audrey on Twitter. Atia Kimagachi. Is that how you say her name, Kel?
That you nailed it, dude.
Okay, all right,
you
perfect.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
whatever it was, you nailed it.
Yeah, all right, cool.
I would have butchered that, so I'm glad you got that down.
100%. 100%.
I literally was doing. I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and I just came out. So here we go.
It's all practicing in the mirror. I got this.
Fucking got this, man.
So during the first portion of the trailer, there was an extensive shot of Redwood Forest that looks similar to Star Wars Episode 6: Return of the Jedi. What makes this portion stand out, however, is the foot of an Imperial Walker, more specifically the ARST variant. So we might get some Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts. During the gameplay, we see the command options on the bottom left. One of the options is called Build. Nomura mentions in an interview with Famitsu that Build action we see in the command bar is part of the Scrap and Build system. Battle reaction commands from Kingdom Hearts 2 will also be coming back. So I know everyone loved those. That's coming back. Nomura said they plan to explore the theme of how, in Sora's perspective, Quadratum is a fictional world, but from the perspective of those living in Quadratum, Sora's world is a fictional one. Interesting enough, Kingdom Hearts 4 introduced the world Quadratum, quad equals 4, being the world of death. Also, Donald and Goofy see Katie's God in a world in the search of Sora. Might suggest darker themes in this next installment. So basically, Sora's dead. Basically. We also see the keychain. It was used as a grappling hook. The trailer was shown using Unreal Engine 4, but it will switch over to the Unreal 5 engine. The game will take place 1 year after Kingdom Hearts 3. We have no idea when this game is going to come out. Guys, I spoke way too much about Kingdom Hearts just now. I want you guys to speak. All right? I'm going to start with you, Kelv. How did you react when you first heard this news?
All right, so let me paint you guys a picture. I woke. So this happened in Japan, right? So this event happened around 4 a.m. our time, right? Probably, or maybe like 11 or like 3, 2, like 1 o'clock your time. So I was asleep, obviously, right? I woke up. It was like 7:30, and I'm like looking on Twitter. That's the first thing I do for whatever reason. I go onto Twitter and I look, and I'm like, I see someone posted like a Kingdom Hearts 4 like revealed. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, there's no fucking way that they actually revealed Kingdom Hearts 4. So I go to YouTube, I check it out, and immediately my first words were like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I just kept saying that like over and over. And I was like half asleep, by the way.
Right.
It was like one of those things where I'm like, I can't believe this is happening right now, because I don't think any of us expected the announcement to be this soon, right? Kingdom Hearts 3 came out 2019, but it just feels like way too soon for this, and I was just stoked.
Chazzy, how about you? Or your
Same
reactions?
thing, kind of similar thing. When I obviously was asleep when it came out, so when I woke up, opened up Instagram was one of the first things that I did, and that's how I saw it and saw people sharing it, and it's the same thing. I was like, there's no way. Like, what? It's got to be like a fan-made thing. I didn't think it was real. And then, of course, went to YouTube, watched it, saw it, was like, holy shit, same thing. As far as the graphics go and everything too, like it seems like it's a major step up, and it also could just be because of the trailer that we got. It's in a more realistic world and not like a cartoony world, not like a Disney world. So, I mean, I guess maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's not speak too far ahead. Let's see what the rest of it may look like. But it looks like they stepped it up and they're going to do maybe something a little bit different. But again, that could just be that moment, that 100%. Place, that area.
And Nomura has stated as well that because of where he's at, Quadratum, I'm going to say that. I'm going to mess it up. Yeah. Quadratum.
Yeah.
It's based on reality. So that's why Sora looks realistic.
Right.
Yeah, so it does have to do with, again, based off like all the Kingdom Hearts games, it's based off of where they are, right? I think the graphics look, if I'm going to be honest, the first time I watched the trailer, I'm like, yo, this shit looks fire. This shit looks dope, right? After watching it, maybe the 20th time by now, I think the graphics are okay, at least with Sora, but when it comes to the world itself, there's not a lot there, right? Like the characters, the NPCs that are there, they look kind of bland, right? There's not a lot of textures around in some of the buildings. Obviously, this is obviously this is going to be a work in progress, right? And this is the Unreal Engine 4, and it's confirmed that it's going to be transitioned over to Unreal Engine 5, which is fantastic, and I'm sure it's going to be much better, much lively. But as of right now, it doesn't look like that spectacular for me. I do like that
it's gotta
Sora
be a beta
looks like a Final Fantasy character.
Yeah, that is. You know what this might mean? This might mean we might get Final Fantasy back into Kingdom Hearts. Imagine you see Final Fantasy Remake Cloud, and I would just.
I've mentioned this before too, Rob, where I feel like Disney and some, I'm gonna probably speak out of line for some people, but Disney does a little disservice to Kingdom Hearts. I know Disney is the, they make this game, and I know Square Enix is the one that produces it and whatnot, but I don't know. Disney, for some reason, I feel like if they eliminated or kind of inched away from Disney, as far as, obviously they're not going to completely, right? You have to go to Disney Worlds. That's just the lore of Kingdom Hearts. Right. But if they kind of gravitated more towards Final Fantasy and even just the lore that Kingdom Hearts has made for themselves, right? Now you have this influx of characters that you barely can name as it is, but you're able to kind of connect with, right? They have a bunch of characters that you don't really need Disney in a sense, right? You don't really need going to different worlds like Winnie the Pooh. I don't want to go to Winnie the Pooh again. Let me tell you that right now. I'm not going to 100 Acre Woods. Like, I'm done with that shit. You know what I mean? But I feel like
we talking down on Pooh, man.
Piglet, come on, you can go hop with Tigger.
Fuck Piglet, man. I'm tired of that shit. I want to see some really meaty shit. You know what I mean? And this is cool because it's odd, right? We see in the first like 10 seconds or so that like the shot of like the redwood forest, right? And it's like that doesn't look really mesh well with the trailer, with the rest of the trailer, right? Because it's like a forest and then it just kind of like spikes over to like the real world. So obviously they're hinting at something, and the obvious choice is Star Wars, right? That's interesting to me. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, I will admit, but even I still want to go into that world. I still want to see how that world is portrayed in a Kingdom Hearts universe. That to me is cool. Fuck the whole 100 Acre Woods thing. Like, I want to go into different worlds that Disney has. Marvel. Can we imagine a Marvel world in Kingdom Hearts?
I didn't even think about that.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many opportunities.
I agree with you on the Star Wars thing. I do want to see that. I definitely want to see. I want to see how they do that. I have a question though. By the way, you mentioned the way that Sora looks is because he's in this more realistic setting. So then, is there any possibility that you guys think? Is there any chances that his look may change depending on where he goes, or do you think that's how he's going to look the entire time?
Based on past games, every time he's gone to a different world, he's changed his look in some way. In the last game, in Toy Story, he turns into a toy. So I would imagine, because this trailer is taking place in the realistic world, that they have to make him look realistic, because that's the real world. So that's my take, and the more kind of
I was thinking the same.
Yeah. And it's interesting too that this Kingdom Hearts portrays this real world as the world of death. Quad, right? Is I guess a Japanese term that is considered deaf, right? So it's weird that they kind of translate like our world, right? Essentially is what they're trying to do, like the deaf world, like the world that's
because our world sucks. Like
I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
But I just thought of something too. If they do the Star Wars things, that means that Sora's Keyblade will probably be something like a lightsaber, which would be insane.
Dude, there's so many possibilities.
They're gonna tone that down though. Well, I mean, it's Disney anyway. It's not that crazy in the movies, but I feel like maybe for the game they'll probably tone that down. Like, you're not cutting anybody in half, I don't think.
Oh no, but
with the Keyblade lightsaber, you know?
Right.
Although Kingdom Hearts 3, this might be a little bit of spoilers. When you go into Pirates of the Caribbean, you see Sora beating the shit out of he was fighting somebody. He was beating the shit out of somebody. I was like, yo, this is Disney right now? Like, this is wild. This is not PG right now. What's
fucking turns into Batman. He's like, I'm vengeance.
Yeah, dude, he's turning into exactly.
Goofy's like, oh wait, he's like,
Sora, I'm coming. Oh, I'll tell you, dude.
He's looking back at Goofy. He's like, you're next. You know what I mean? Keep your mouth shut. Let me do what I gotta do.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's crazy.
So to go back on like how the story is just absolutely insane right now. Do you think that Nomura will finally, with this arc, that this is the Lost Master arc, do you think he's gonna finally try and streamline the story, or it's just gonna be normal Kingdom Hearts bullshit where you have to play every little game that comes out to understand and make sure you watch every single cutscene of? What do you guys think?
Chaz.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing is like all those videos that I was watching with the lores and everything, trying to understand everything more since I didn't play all the games in between, 1, 2, and 3 and all that. A lot of them were saying like, if you didn't play all of those games, you're 100% going to be lost on a lot of things. And I think that, I don't know, man. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that the Kingdom Hearts community, the gamers that play Kingdom Hearts, do they want everything to be 100% connected? You got to play everything. You got to know everything that's going on. Or do you think there's more people that just want to jump into the game and enjoy it for what it is? Like, I honestly, I don't know. But for me, it's like, for someone who hasn't played all of them, I do want to have it a little bit more streamlined. But is that going to take away from everything that they've done?
Here's the thing, Rob, or guys. I think this is Nomura, based off of this trailer that we've seen. Nomura is saying, oh, you like Kingdom Hearts? I'm gonna go full fucking Kingdom Hearts on you. Like, this is him telling us that if you don't understand the story, it doesn't matter at this point. I'm still going hard. And the reason why I think that is because this world that we're in, that you see Sora in, it's based off of, if we remember correctly from Kingdom Hearts 3, it's based off of that video game that Rex from Toy Story is playing. Right, and I forget
I forget the name of the game, but it's with the
Vernum Rexus or something like that.
Yeah, and
that is the world that Sora is in at the moment, currently. If that doesn't tell you Nomura is going full-fledged Nomura at this point, then you know what I mean. Like, this is legit. You have to understand the lore of Kingdom Hearts. And I wish I agree with you, Chaz. I'm sorry. I feel like this would be a way better fit for everybody if they just allowed it to be a little bit more streamlined, you know what I mean? Because it'd be obviously better for everyone that doesn't really understand the lore, and they can kind of jump in. But at this point, 4, I feel like they're going balls deep with the Kingdom Hearts lore.